again, this is the butterfly affect. So people are really pretty tired of one-way communication models. And so this is really putting everybody else in the hot seat. One of the things that I found really interesting about this model that you'll experience really soon is that it takes an incredible amount of care. When I do this performance, there is one-on-one. There is a host plant for every person who goes through. And literally, I am your host plant that will guide you through it, take care of you, help you get into each costume, each place, each stage of metamorphosis. And it seemed like an impossible model. It felt like this was ridiculous. It felt like it was all that was going to work, given as smart as I am and given as what I've got at my disposal in terms of talents and skills and all those things. And, you know, it wasn't really for impressing anybody. I'm a full professor. It's like, I'm done. I don't need to, I'm not done, but I'm done doing it to impress others. I'm doing it just to do it now, to do it for real, to really try to make a difference. And it just felt like that much care was what was needed for people to really come to the heart of their own change that they want to be making within. And I feel like that much care was really needed. And it's a 25-minute experience when you do the whole thing. We'll do a slightly abbreviated one today. And it's held within a soundscape, and it is this experience that people are guided through. And that was what I wanted to offer. And I've done it in a bunch of different places, in the University in Cork, Ireland, and St. Andrews, and then I got to do it in Boulder, Colorado, nearby in Denver. There's a butterfly pavilion, which was perfect. It was like the first in the country to be solely dedicated to butterflies that are so great. And I did it, and I got a lot of press at the Denver level, the Colorado Public Radio, which was great. And they did a story and they said, healing climate anxiety, turn into a butterfly, or at least pretend to. And there was a story about that, and I led the guy through it, and it was great. So this little performance has reached a lot of people. I did it at the Butterfly Pavilion. It was a whole thing, and I really only reached 36 people because I had 6 graduate students who were really thoughtfully leading each person through it. So very limited range in terms of impact. But what I was designing for was a really deep, kind of lingering, lasting experience for people, for it to be effective. The thing that was super interesting was that if you can go to media on there, the thing that was super interesting was because I was on the internet, when Fox News and Jesse Waters show in the US, I'm sure you're familiar with what Fox News is. Anyway, when they were looking to do something on climate anxiety, they found me. And I was able to speak about this performance to, can you go to media? Which one?
Yeah, it's that.
I know, it's so hard. It's right on
the left.
one over.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh wait, it's on that computer.
Oh, it's on that computer. That's why it's not working.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this little performance that had just kind of been around, several different places, was able to be featured on.
Do you want me to play that video?
Pardon?
Do you want me to play that video?
I don't know. It's like 4 minutes, I think. So it actually is a pretty good description of it. So that was able to reach, like, you're in the thing presenting here, and you get to reach like 2.5 million people right away. So that was kind of cool that it was able to reach that many people. Maybe it is a good thing to show it now because it does show what the performance is, and then we'll do it. The sound was
It might not be sharing the sound for that computer.
I don't know if it will.
Oh, it sounds like it might be.
We don't need to do it right now. We can do it afterwards too.
Video.
Let's see if I can get this out.
Interesting thing when approached to present to be on the Fox News, it was a real come to Jesus moment of like, am I feeding a monster or am I actually engaged? And it was an interesting thing of watching other people present on things like climate anxiety. And even though they were made fun of, it was a chance to reach people who might be otherwise getting really negative messaging with some kind of hopeful message. So I thought to do it. And it didn't ruin my life. I only had a few hateful emails. It was great. It didn't. I'm still alive. It went well. It went well. Welcome. Okay, great. So what I'd love for you to experience is for us to go outside and to have one person volunteer to be the person who will go through the experience. It is an experience that certainly can be watched but it's not designed for that. It's really designed for the person who's going through it. And I know this is a very long arc kind of solution in terms of climate communication, but I have to say that as someone entirely steeped in creative climate communication, I teach a class every semester in it. I am doing it. It's my art. It's my scholarship. It's my, it's my life. There's not a lot of boundaries between my personal and professional life. It's what I do. And this was just the best thing I could think to do, was to give that much care to each person who goes through it. It's not for people to watch, but it is a beautiful thing to watch. And it's also a beautiful thing to not only just watch, but to really hold the space for. So as one person goes through it, we can all vicariously go through it and hold the space for the one person who is literally going through it. But I think that the visual imagery of watching one person go through it is certainly enough for each of us to experience it on some kind of a level. So I really want to say that I'm a theater artist, performer person. I really love materiality. So I really just invite you to think of these material explorations as a way to think through the body as a process of interspecies exchange. We're not really seeking to imitate or to mimic or impersonate these various butterfly species, but we're rather doing this as an assertion of our unity as a part of the natural world that is in need of human transformation in order for all of us to survive. So it's that kind of thing of like, how do we take the change that is not, that ends quite beautifully on the part of one species, the butterfly, and how do we start to experience it ourselves to maybe start to process some of the fears we might feel around big, deep changes. And yeah, before we do this, I always think it's nice to go through a little bit of the science of, this is really in collaboration with always having the science completely accurate. And so, you've probably all seen these before. You're going to start out as an egg, and I'll take you through some of the things. But one of the things I really want to emphasize before we get in there and I'm going through it is that when your mother, and I'm going to always refer to you all as butterflies right now, when your mother goes around and flies around and finds a host leaf that is good for you, whatever species you are, if you're a monarch, if you have no fleas, and she finds it, it's good, she lays you there, she puts a little bit of glue there to protect you and hold you in place, and she lays you as an egg, and inside that egg, you are a little larva, teeny, smaller than a piece of rice. But inside that larva, you have imaginal discs. Now, imaginal discs, I talk about these a lot and they're hard to imagine. So I made an artistic representation of an imaginal disc. This is not a scientific one, but it's a bag of cells. There's about 10 to 50 cells. You don't want to really touch it. I love touching things. I touch everything at the museum. So I want you to all touch it. But these imaginal discs are inside of you and they survive every stage of your metamorphosis. So you have an imaginal disc in you as a little larva for your wings, for your thorax, for your antennae. Everything that's going to emerge from you into the world is already there in your imaginal disc. And it's just too much a gift that sounds like imagination. So everything from you that's going to emerge out into the world beautifully is already in you. Because we have this guidance from the science of butterflies metamorphosis. So as we are guiding people, as we're guiding you through this, we're going to ask you to focus in on what is your own imaginal disc as you're here right now together in community right now. What is it that yearns to transform within you? What's something that you would love? I'd like everybody to just kind of take a moment to think about what that might be. You might be wanting to increase your self-confidence. You might be wanting to let go of some judgments. You might be wanting whatever it is for you. I'd like to give you just a moment of silence to think about that you'd want to focus on today as we go through this metamorphosis. It's gonna be here. Okay, great. So you got to experience the butterfly affect, and one of the other things I just wanted to share before we just kind of go into talking about this is my collaborator in this work is Sarah Fahmy, and she is a professor at the Florida State University in theater. And her and I really wanted to be able to reach more people. So we did this really cool project with our students where we created a butterfly affect care deck, which is right there. Somebody wants to, yeah, I can pass it in that thing right there. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. So each one of these is a prompt. We really wanted it to still be embodied. We wanted it to be rooted in the art science of a butterfly's metamorphosis. Well, these are like, they kind of all go together, but you can just give them like that. Yeah, great. And so this is the thing that our students collaborated with us in doing, our grad students and undergrads. And each one of them has a prompt in the beginning that is really meant you to kind of engage with each phase of a butterfly's metamorphosis. And then on the back, there's a QR code and it has somebody guiding you through it. So it goes to a video where somebody would guide you through and pretty much do what it says there. So it was really a way to really have people be able to have these embodied experiences in different ways. And then because my daughter Melisande is an incredible artist, can you go to the next, oh yeah, whoever's there, can you go to the different mediums? There's the performance and then it goes to, it's not that one. Can you go back to a different, can you go back to the home?
Yeah.
Back to butterfly affect.
I can click on the butterfly.
Oh yeah, if you go to the, not the gallery, but the one in front of that, projects.
Care deck?
So then you can go to the paper dolls. So then we decided to create it also as a paper doll experience. And this is one that is still in development. But my daughter Melisande is the artist that had made these. She actually just made me a set of the paper dolls for Christmas, and she's an incredible artist. She lives in Brooklyn. And I was like, oh my gosh, Sarah and I saw them. We're like, we have to do this. So we're now doing it where we've created the chrysalis. But I'd love if you want to like feel them. The girls themselves go into the chrysalis and the thing. So it's a very tactile experience. I've led it a few times. It's really cool. People go through pretty much the similar meditative invitation experience that you had, but just doing it with the paper dolls. And we have gestures that we do around it, sitting around at a table. So we're hoping that one person could lead, you know, up to 20 or 30 people through it once we get enough of these paper dolls. So we have the care deck that, but these are the three mediums that we're taking this kind of story, this hopeful climate narrative, and then putting it out into the world through different projects, through different kind of, it's almost like a transmedia storytelling kind of approach where there's different manifestations, but come on in. It's all a similar work. So I have a ton that I could say about it, but I'd also love to hear from anybody else, like questions or thoughts or things that people are thinking about it as they just experience, or even just impressions as you experienced it.